Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are in Royal High and I was thinking about talking about some things that have been kind of on my mind recently. So let's get into it. I'm gonna walk over to the fountain, get my fountain. Little spoiler though, I don't get anything from it, sadly, but I've already got 2 halos, so it's fine. So my first thing I kind of want to tap into is playing through the drought. We all know the infamous Royal High drought that happened a few years back and continued from like 2023 to I want to say about mid 2025, somewhere in that zone. My problem with the drought wasn't necessarily that it was bad or anything. Like, yes, it was bad because we did not have any content. We kind of just had the same stuff over and over and over again, other than like new Halos, which even then, Halos are not like available to just anyone. So it's not like anyone can get one, and you have to be a dedicated player in a drought if you want a Halo. And the problem with that is if you get a Halo in a drought, then it spikes the price up like there's no tomorrow, and then you're sitting there and you're like, this is insane. And as someone who played in a drought, I'm actually pretty sure that's the reason that the Divine Adoration Halo is so expensive, is because it was in a drought. And another thing was kind of Campus 3 and all of the versions of Campus 4. I currently have a new iPad. That's what I'm filming this on. But I used to have an older iPad, and when I had my older iPad, it could not handle the performance side of that kind of thing. And because of that, it really was not great. And I could not play in Campus 4 for the longest time, and I still barely can play in Campus 4 even on my new iPad, but that's just because it's performance heavy on any device. I mean, ask some of my friends that play on laptops, and they will say that their game crashes, and they bought the laptop like 8 months ago, and you're sitting there and you're like, why is this happening? Why is this a thing? Like, that kind of thing. And then kind of shifting to a new topic though, seeing it come back was really incredible, but also it reminded me like how bad the drought actually was, like, because you're seeing so many more players, and the thing about players is you don't realize how much you miss them until you're walking around a campus with you and like 2 other players. And it's really inspiring to see the game come back and just go to the front office and see like 20 people standing there, all in their incredible designs and color palettes and their halos and their unique like way of being, And it's funny because I feel like in Royal High, I have a similar way of dressing to the way I draw. And it is honestly really funny because it's kind of the way I look at myself, but also like the way it just is. And I don't know, I think it's cool. I've got a few compliments on this look that I'm wearing right now, but there have been a few comments that are like, oh, like it's a little basic, and I've seen stuff like it before, which nothing wrong with that. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. And then I think something else is me playing for 6 years, because I joined in December of 2020. So you will actually see that in a minute because I go through my journal in a little bit and my inventory. As someone who has played for 6 years, I've noticed how much the game has changed, and because even in early 2021, the graphics were not, I should say, as detailed as they are now. Because, we still had 2020 stuff and some of the new 2021 stuff, but, you gotta remember that before Royal High was a really, really big development team, it still had its kind of rough Roblox look, and I kind of miss that look sometimes. And honestly, I would love to make a video just playing Campus 2 and talking about the things that they should have carried over from Campus 2 into Campus 4, because believe it or not, there is a lot missing there. And I think something to that is just the whole Royal High experience is kind of rough nowadays. Like, people don't really realize how it was back then, before inflation, before like all that, when you could actually get a set without having to sell your left kidney just to get it. And I think it's so funny kind of trying to remember what it was like before everything was super expensive. And I know they're taking it down. Like, the Merry Marching Band and Ballroom Butler sets are good sets that like help keep the cost down. But I don't know. I just don't really find it as enjoyable anymore, and that's why I don't play as much. My kind of like closing topic is a YouTube situation that happened maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. The situation was a YouTuber was criticizing the game, specifically Royal High, and Royal High had reached out to them and said, hey, that's not cool. And she was not overly criticizing the game. But my one thing I will say is the way she reacted to the content or the stuff, she came forward with it, which, again, if a situation like that occurs, you're supposed to do that and actually speak out against the stuff you're facing. But she made 3 videos on it discussing the situation, and each one of them slandered Royal High more than last. And then they issued a apology, and they actually thought it was AI. She said that, and then she actually ran it through a software, and then in the same video it said it was not AI, but her excuse was it felt ingenuine. Yes, it's gonna feel ingenuine because it's a corporate apology. And after those 3 videos, she continued to make more about the situation, milking it for everything that she could get out of it. And a lot of YouTubers hopped on that bandwagon with her because it was drama. And, you know, drama makes YouTube spin round, or whatever you want to call it. And I think, personally, it was not needed. The space did not need that, and the community didn't need that, because I remember seeing so many comments on the video saying that she was in the right and she deserved to make all those videos. But then I also saw comments that were talking about how she, like, I am definitely on the side of she blew it out of proportion. And I personally don't think anything is going to come from me saying this. I just, like, the Royal High community is so funny because, you know, if Mean Girls was a game, it basically would be Royal High. The amount of times I have gotten banned from simply just trying to protect myself or my friends by just saying, hey, you know, you shouldn't be saying that to another player that was criticizing my voice or my friends' outfits, saying it was offensive when all they were wearing was like a gothic outfit, and they were like, oh, well, as a real goth, I don't find that like valid. And then my friend would be like, I'm a real goth in real life. And it's just funny. I think that out of all the communities on Roblox, Royal High has got to be the most like gossip queen type of stuff. And you'll find that a lot of the Royal High YouTubers are like that, where they love spreading the tea. And that situation is a great example of it. And I personally think that it was blown out of proportions and stupid. And I don't know. And I will see you in the next video because I'm out of time. Goodbye.